What is up, guys? Today we are talking about how to break in a freshly built motor. Now I'm going to first tell you the few things that I've heard from tuners and other people that build engines, and then I'm going to tell you how I specifically broke in my engine, because I just barely broke it in and drove it for the first time. There will be a video on me driving it for the first time coming up next, but in this video we're talking about engine break-in procedure, like when to change your oil, if you do full throttle pulls, if you take it really easy for the first 50 miles. So the tuners that I've talked to, they say that if you build the engine correctly and the specs are perfect and you didn't go too tight of clearances or anything like that, then you can do pulls right off the bat. You just literally change the oil once maybe and then get right on the dyno and they start making power. Now other people will take it easy for the first like 50 miles and then they'll start doing a few pulls. The idea behind doing a few pulls right off the bat though is that it's supposed to, I guess, heat cycle everything so that it all kind of wears in together. I don't personally think it matters either way. I think what matters most is building the engine correctly. If you keep your specs and your like piston to ring clearance is correct and all of that stuff, then I don't think it matters as much. I think it matters more that you just change the oil right away after the first heat cycle, I guess, and then you're good to go. So what I ended up doing was I turned the car on, I let it idle up to temp, and then I turned it off. Then I did it again one more time. Well, actually I only idled it once to temperature. I did crank the engine though a bunch before starting it, and I guess you could just pull like the fuel pump fuse or fuel pump relay, and then you could crank the engine over a whole bunch. The idea behind that is that you're just making sure nothing's locked up or nothing's wrong with the engine, but if you build the engine correctly, you obviously would not need to do that. It was just my first engine build, so I was nervous, and obviously I had the whole mess with my other Speed 6 where I fried the ECU, but luckily this one is chilling and it started and everything seemed to be working good. So what I did is I let it idle up to operating temperature, then I drove it around the block one time, and then I parked it right here, and now I'm about to change my oil. I'm gonna be going with this Pennzoil Platinum 5W30. I don't think oil matters that much, honestly. I think as long as it's full synthetic and it's the right weight. This one's 5W30, but some people will say 5W40 is good for speeds. Honestly, it probably does not matter at all. As long as you change the oil regularly, I don't think it really matters. I think it's more important just to keep changing the oil at least before like 4K miles or so, but we're gonna be putting some oil in it and then hopefully starting it up, making sure it sounds good and everything, and then I'll be going for another drive to break it in even more. At this point, it's probably good to do pulls and stuff, but I'm just gonna take it slow at first and do a bunch of upshifts and downshifts and try to just like throw a bunch of different scenarios at it where it has no boost, then it has a lot of boost quickly, then back to no boost, back to downshifting, stuff like that. Just a bunch of random different conditions just to try to make sure it heat cycles well and everything is working properly. At this point it should be plenty good to start doing pulls and stuff like that. So I'm super excited, but let's get to changing my oil. Take that guy off. Let's see how this oil looks. Hopefully it's not too disgusting. Gotta take this bolt out. The oil drain bolt. See what it looks like. Oh, not too bad. Pretty clear, I would say. It's a good sign. Alright guys, time to pull the oil filter out. And there you guys have it. My oil filter. Dripping everywhere. Doesn't look like there's really any metal in there. Let's take a look at the oil. It does look dark right there, but it's actually not that dark. All right, we got our new oil filter. Let's shove this guy in there. Guys, now it's time to put some more oil in. Cap's already off. I think it takes 7 quarts now that I have the balance shaft elite. So let's get to loading this in. All right, as I said before, we're doing some Pennzoil. Just try not to make a mess here. I think I'll stitch you guys up. Oh, we did it. Alright guys, she's completely filled up. Didn't manage to spill too much, but we got a little drips. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know if you guys have any other break-in procedures that you've heard of, but hopefully she'll last forever, never break down. But there's gonna be a driving video, so be on the lookout for that video, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow.